Let's go on to dreams for a second. You mentioned that you had one recently that really affected you. Do you want to talk about that for a bit, or any other dream for that matter?
Okay, so I have to give it some history though.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So about a year and a half ago, so it wasn't bad enough that I'm a musician and opera singer and I lost half of my hearing 20 years ago. On top of that, about a year and a half ago, I developed vocal cord polyps, and through a series of events and diagnoses, I had to have surgery on my vocal cords. And that's really scary for a singer, because although I was assured I'd have a really positive outcome, the truth is like anything's surgery is surgery, and the vocal apparatus is a very delicate thing. It's microsurgery. It's really quite a big deal. So going into the surgery, I had a vocal therapist, I had my voice teacher, and I had my surgeon. And we worked as a team, and they were very, very powerful. So I'm wondering if I should use some of the names of the people or not. What do you think?
If you feel like it's a positive reference, sure. If not, maybe you don't want to, but...
What ended up being positive? But sometimes, okay, so my doctor was Anthony Yan, and he was my doctor when I was 16. I first lost my hearing.
Okay.
And he's been wonderful. And my therapist was Dr. Anat Kedar, and she's just like a genius at what she does, very passionate about it. But she's a complicated person. And then my voice teacher was Professor Taina Kataya. So I have all these crazy names, right? Taina is Finnish, Anat is Israeli, and Dr. Jan is Romanian. So, or Hungarian. Oh, he'd be mad. Hungarian, but Austrian and Hungarian. So anyway, so but actually Canadian. So actually, I had to have the surgery. So after my surgery for 3 months, instead of going to my voice teacher every week, and my voice teacher had become a protege of Dr. Kedar and learned a lot about vocal therapy and a lot about the voice, and she'd taken some courses with another doctor, and my voice teacher had at the same time gotten very involved in voice therapy and the problems that people have with their voices, which led to the unraveling of what I was fighting, dealing with. So after my surgery, which was 100% successful, Dr. Kedar and I worked together for a few months. And then after that, I went back to work with my voice teacher. And I definitely made some progress with Dr. Kedar, but I can tell you emotionally, after you have surgery, singing is a different instrument. It's like if a pianist had his hand cut off and then sewn back on. Even if the hand was working perfectly, there's a certain amount of emotional stuff that has to be worked through when you harm your instrument. Because you start to question. You have to change your lifestyle. You can never yell at your kids anymore. You can never yell at your husband anymore.
That's hard.
Okay. So anyway, okay. So I went after Dr. Kedar to see Professor Taina every week for voice lessons, and things went really well. And it took me about a year to, I think, really understand. And I think I'm understanding more, although not 100%, of how to really keep my instrument healthy for the rest of my life. So this is a big prelude, sorry. So then I went one day and called Dr. Kedar just to say hello, because I really felt close to her, even though she's kind of a character and she can be a difficult person. And she said, "Gabrielle, I'm so glad you've called, and I hear from Taina that you're doing so well, which I have to tell you, I can tell you now, because I thought you were hopeless and unteachable."
Wow.
So in the conversation, and she said, "And I would never tell you that now if I didn't know from your teacher how well you're doing." And that she didn't say, "and that I was wrong." Or maybe she did say, "and I was wrong." But either way, I said, "Oh, okay, whatever." It was very hard for me to hear that. It really hurt my feelings, and it was very deflating. So I got really angry at her. I was really disappointed in her, and I was really angry that she felt that I was unteachable. I mean, I had just had vocal surgery.
Yeah.
Why didn't she have more understanding on what it was like to have to learn? Why didn't she have more patience with me? Why did she think I was so unteachable? Why was she so impatient? You know, and I was really angry. Anyway, and I think a few days went by, and then one night I had a dream.
Okay.
Okay, so here's what happened. So in my dream, I dreamed that I went to my voice teacher, and the truth is that my voice teacher lives in Edison, near Woodbridge, and her house, my lessons are at her house, and I have to go down a long winding street and park, and then go in and park on the street and go into her house. And in my dream, though, I went to my voice lesson, I parked, I went and had my voice lesson, and when I came out, there had been a torrential rainstorm, and a flood of mud had come down the street and made a big mountain at the bottom of her street of mud, and into the mountain had